Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kecie, and today I'm going to be putting together some pages in my Commonplace notebook. And as I'm putting these pages together, I want to talk a little bit about the history of commonplacing and what is commonplacing. The practice of commonplacing dates back to the Renaissance period in Europe, although I have found that commonplacing was something that was used I would say centuries before that, even with Aristotle and Plato and all of them. There's evidence that they also had a commonplace notebook. So these notebooks or books were where the place where scholars and writers would jot down interesting quotes, passages, or ideas, and they would put it in one commonplace book. These books served as a personal collection of thoughts and knowledge, and one could refer back to for inspiration, reference, or reflection. So over time, commonplacing evolved to include not just written excerpts, but also personal reflection, sketches, and other creative expressions. And this is what you see me here. What I'm doing in my Commonplace notebook is doing a study guide on the Trojan War. The idea is that I could have one place, one common place where a specific topic, in this case, the Trojan War, I can just park it there, write it down, type it down, whatever, and then have some type of references in the future. Because I love to journal and because I love to express my creativity through journaling, I love to add different elements to my pages that are going to help me out in telling the story and help me remember the story. It is very interesting that commonplace books became popular among thinkers, writers, and creatives as a way to organize and store information in a condensed and accessible format. This way, that added value to their role in adding memory, fostering creativity, and serving as treasure trove of ideas and insights. And I love when researching about commonplacing what that meant to me, because it's a way of me adding all of my creativity in a page with the things that I love. For example, I love history and I love being creative. So when I'm putting my pages together, I am going to start looking for pictures, images that is going to help me remember the story. I went to Etsy and I went on a shopping spree. I bought different clip art, especially done in watercolor, about the Greek and the Trojans, and I didn't really know that this type of media existed. I knew that there were some pictures and things that you can buy, but when I went on Etsy, I found so many clip arts and so many things that I can use in my creation. So this is what you see me doing here. I'm going to use those clip arts that I bought on Etsy, but I'm also going to use different art that has been created throughout the centuries about this story about the Trojan War. The Trojan War was fought between the Trojans and the Greeks for Helen, and it was just a story that captivated my heart and my mind. I started these pages, and I have a video which I'm going to leave link over here so you can see the beginning of how I started these pages. So here what I'm putting down is what happened to Hector and at the fight with Ajax, and it's just so interesting, this story. I was watching the Netflix series on the Trojans, and I just love to learn about history and learn about all these things that have impacted our lives, right? And this is one of the ones that really caught my attention, and I just wanted to put it in my Commonplace notebook. Okay, what do I have inside my Commonplace notebook? Is it all about history? No. In my Commonplace notebook, I have different topics that I love to collect and reflect on, and it's just different things that catches my attention. For example, this one for the Trojan War is history. I have another key that is about quotes. I have another one that is about songs that have touched my heart, others about poems. So it depends what is the thing that you want to collect and save for the future. So, what's the difference between commonplacing and journaling? Let me tell you, there is a lot. Because when you journal and you write in your diary, is more of an introspect thing that you are going through, right? You are reflecting on your emotions, you're jotting down how you're feeling, or jotting down how an event went or a travel. So it's more about you and your feelings and what you were experimenting or going through that time. Commonplacing is different than just journaling. So commonplacing is more like a scrapbook of items of many kinds. For example, you can have notes, you can have proverbs, quotes, letters, poems. It's just prayers, it's recipes. I mean, you think about the knowledge that others have and that you want to learn from that knowledge, and then you put it into a one place notebook. So it's more about collecting, I would say, the wisdom and thoughts of someone else, and then you bring it into this commonplace for you to study, for you to treasure, for you to learn from. So that is what, for me, commonplace is, and what the research that I've done tells me about what commonplace is. We also have seen so different ways of and how commonplacing has evolved. Some people might put bullet journaling as a way of commonplacing. I'm on the fence about that, because in bullet journaling, you are collecting, I think, is your present, right? Your chronological things that you do, sometimes your introspect. So that will lean more into the journaling category. But some bullet journalers, they also have collections of things, and that's where they collect, for example, quotes that they were reading, or they collect different things. And that essence of the bullet journal, that reminds me a lot of commonplacing. I have to be honest with you, I didn't even know what commonplacing was, and I was already doing it until I stumbled upon this video, and I was watching what commonplacing was, and then I realized that for many years I have been doing commonplacing without realizing that it was called commonplacing. I have always thought about different topics that have sparked my imagination. And I remember having this notebook from a long time ago. I think I must have been in middle school, and it was about the planets. And I went into this huge encyclopedia, and I was just looking for information about the stars and the galaxy, and I wanted to write down in a notebook. And that's what I started doing, just collecting those bits of information that caught my attention. But not only did I collect that information, I always wanted to add different things, like either a picture or a drawing, things that just spoke to me and helped me to remember what I put on the page. So Commonplace is not just about collecting the information, but also about engaging with it, making connections, and creating a personalized connection of wisdom and creativity. So this process, my friends, is a timeless practice that celebrates the art of learning, of reflection, and self-expression. And I highly recommend that if you haven't started your Commonplace notebook, or maybe you have and doesn't even realize that you have a Commonplace notebook, to start or continue, because it's such a beautiful art of learning that has been passed down from generations to generations. My son already told me that he wanted this notebook as for him once I was done with it, because he felt it had so much good information, and also it had a beautiful display of the images. So one thing that I love is to do research. And for these pages, I went to worldhistory.org and I read a couple of articles about the Trojan War, and then I took out some of the information that I thought it was helpful to me, and then I paired them up with the images that I found on the internet and from images that I bought online from Etsy. I'm also using sticker paper in the craft color, which I love, just to give a few highlights to my notebook and just make it look a little bit kind of like antique. And I just love it. I love the way these pages came out. I'm still working on the story of the Trojan War. Like I said, the pages that I'm working on right now that you're looking at are from the different wars when it started, and then I'm gonna have another video that I'm going to just finish the stories of the Trojan War. I have done one on Alexander the Great, and I'm going to leave it linked over here for you so you can go ahead and watch that one and how to put together that study guide. And it's just so much fun. I'm working on doing one for the Tudor, and I'm having so much fun with that. I love the Tudors, the era. I don't love them. I love their story. I think it's so fascinating how this man changed the course of the history. I was going to say curse. Probably was a little curse. But anyway, I digress. It was just the way this man just changed everything for love or lust or whatever you want to call it. But I am very interested in that story. Another thing that I do once I do my pages for my Commonplacing, once I do my research, I love to put together a bucket list, because looking at all of these places and listening to the history that happened in these different places has always catch my attention and my curiosity. And I'm like, okay, so what happened to Troy? Where is Troy now? Where is the history? Do we have anything from that time period? Has it been proven or not? So at the end, I would do a bucket list. And then that's another research that I do, where I go and I do, like, it will be the Trojan War bucket list, right? Inspired by the Trojan War. And I would look at places that I might want to visit in the future, or places that I want to learn more about. And that's what I do. So if you like this content, make sure that you are subscribed, give it a thumbs up, and follow me as I continue to express myself through the things that I love, like history, like journaling, and let's be friends. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I When I see you, my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands